So okay, the ZV-1 Mark II was announced. I woke myself up at 4 in the morning to watch the video to see if it was worth returning my ZV-1F in order to pick up the ZV-1 Mark II. To make a long story short, I'm keeping this camera and I'm gonna tell you why less is more with the ZV-1F. So basically in this line, you have at the bottom the ZV-1F. In the middle, you have the original ZV-1 with the 24 to 70mm lens. And now the ZV-1 Mark II. So with that one has an 18 to 50mm lens. Unfortunately, they went with a f1.8 to an f4, which is something like an f12, I think, when at the long end at 50mm. So when I heard all the especially with the lens they put on the ZV-1 Mark II, I was already out at that point. But when I found out that it didn't have 10-bit color or a bigger battery, even more so, I was content with keeping the ZV-1F. And I actually think the ZV-1F is a superior camera. Let's go over. Let's stay on that for a bit. Let's first talk about why the ZV-1F is superior to the original ZV-1. So number one, the tripod mount is off to the side, doesn't block the battery door. The second thing, obviously, is the lens. It is a fixed 20mm f2 lens. And as long as I've been shooting video, whether it was doing weddings or commercial work, I always felt like shooting with the prime lens makes you a better shooter. For whatever reason, I just like shooting with the prime lens. The simplicity of it, it's less thinking. Because a lot of times when you're setting up to shoot something and you have options, like you have a 24 to 70, and you have to decide like what focal length you want the shot to be, that moment of hesitation can cause you to miss the shot. So when you have a fixed focal length, you know what you're getting beforehand. And sometimes when you don't have those options, it allows you to be a little more creative. And furthermore, 20mm is more than wide enough for vlogging, even with your arm bent like this, pointed at yourself. And the third reason I really like the ZV-1F over the ZV-1 is that it has filter thread on the front of the lens. So for my particular setup and the way I like the image to look, I wanted to put a black pro mist filter on there. I always do a 1/8 black pro mist filter on all my lenses, including the one I'm shooting on right now. But the filter thread on the front of the ZV-1F is a 40.5mm filter thread. So what I had to do is pick up a 40.5, can I get this to focus? What I picked up was a 40.5 to 49mm step-up ring so that I could stick a 49mm black pro mist filter on there. Well, technically this is a black diffusion 1/8 from K&F. If you don't know what a mist filter is or a diffusion filter, it kind of makes the highlights kind of bloom in the background and kind of softens the look, to put it simply. And the other thing I did, just because I like the simplicity of a magnetic lens cap, is I picked up a K&F Concept magnetic lens cap, also 49mm. So it has a magnetic ring that sits on the filter, and the cap just goes like that. And there you have it. So this is the setup. Black Pro Mist, magnetic filter ring, magnetic cap. Oh, so here's the other thing that you can do. Because I have this magnetic filter ring, I have a 3 to 7 stop variable ND filter. Variable ND filter basically is like sunglasses for your lens so that you can maintain a proper shutter speed when you're shooting in bright sunlight. And the way this works is, because this is a magnetic filter, the magnetic filter ring, it just does that. And this is on there pretty securely because I've shot with this, and surprisingly you can turn the ring without the actual filter itself rotating. It's a good strong magnet. So this would be my basic setup. And with the ZV-1, you could buy an adhesive adapter and kind of do the same thing, but the fact that the lens has its own filter threads and then you can just put a step-up ring and put your filters on there, it's so much more convenient and it keeps the package so much more compact. Those are my bullet points as to why I like the ZV-1F over the ZV-1. Moving on to the ZV-1 Mark II. The things that would have made me upgrade to that camera would have had to been like a wider, faster lens, which, like I just said, this camera has a lens that's wide enough and fast enough. I mean, the 18-50 on the ZV-1 Mark II is garbage to me because once you get past 18, the aperture closes down quite a bit and you no longer have the 1.8. So the fact that you have 20mm f2 on this makes it superior. You know, it has the same battery, so that's a wash. You know, they're even Stevens on that one. We didn't get 10-bit color in the ZV-1 Mark II, and no 4K 60. I shoot pretty much everything in 4K 24, but you know, having 4K 60 would have been nice. The ZV-1 Mark II did not have that. So yeah, that is pretty much all I had to say about this camera release. To wrap it up with something I started the video with, I was kind of relieved that, it's kind of weird to say that I was relieved and disappointed at the same time, but I was, because the ZV-1F is a great little camera and I recommend this over the ZV-1 original and the ZV-1 Mark II. That's enough camera talk, as my family would say. And it's another... Stop doing these boring videos. That's a wrap. That's it for this one. ZV-1F over everything. Maybe they're right. Maybe I should stop making these camera videos. It's not too late to change the subject matter on this channel. I have like 60 something subscribers. Nobody would even care.